Welcoming you into the LTU Sports Network semi-final WAC tournament action here in Southfield, Michigan at Don Riddler Fieldhouse, getting set to tip off. Here we go, Cornerstone versus LTU. The winner of this game gets a trip to the WAC title game and the second automatic bid to Sioux City, Iowa for the NAIA Division II tournament. Otten gets it in the corner, a cutter, it's Richards. First bucket of the game in favor of Cornerstone. Starting lineup for LTU, you see Walkowski, there's a jumper from Buckingham short. Price, Hanson, Banis on the floor. Here's Jussie Sheridan for Cornerstone, gets it in deep. Vredevoogt denied by Price, second chance into the corner. Sheridan, little show and go. She'll put her ankle in Thursday's win over Siena Heights. And meanwhile, back the other way, Vredevoogt retakes the lead for Cornerstone. Walkowski, the first team all-WAC conference player, injured her ankle against Siena Heights, on the floor here, back out, and looking like she has a little pep in her step. Hanson to a cutting Walkowski, fouled at the rim. We mentioned in that game against Siena Heights, she just plays so well off the ball. Such a feel for the game, and that'll give her a chance for two more. .84% free throw shooter on the year. That 84% is tied with sophomore Rachel Price for a team high. Very reliable assets in this starting lineup for LTU. Once again, a lot on the line here. A trip to the championship to face off against Indiana Tech. As we get a travel there, Indiana Tech dominated Concordia earlier today. That was a 1 p.m. tip-off. It was a 38-point Indiana Tech victory. LTU 0-2 on the season against Indiana Tech. Cornerstone is actually one of just two WAC teams to defeat Indiana Tech in conference play this year. They split the season series with Indiana Tech, so you have that, and then a trip to Iowa also on the line. Here's Price from the corner, no good. Mueller the board, looking to accelerate in the open court, shifting her way through, lost the handle at the end there. Now it goes to Sheridan, off the rim. Into the hands of Mueller. Another opportunity. Here's Lizzie Otten, a good ball handler. Over to Sheridan. Such a good scorer, and she makes her way to the rim, fouled. Jussie Sheridan, the 5'7" junior from Texas, the leading scorer for this Cornerstone team. Just under 17 points per game. She's 89% on the year from the free throw line. Talking about reliable. Shoots 42%, leading the Eagles in scoring for the second year in a row. Look out for Jussie Sheridan tonight. Back the other way, here's Banis. With her team down 2 early on in this one. Don Riddler Fieldhouse, WAC Tournament semifinals. Buckingham from deep. Who did that go off of? It'll stay in possession of the Blue Devils. Here's Buckingham in the corner having trouble. It's Mueller, the defensive effort. Will they tie this one up? They will. In possession of Lawrence Tech, will stay down at this end. Once again in the passing lanes. This time it's Sheridan. A disruptive Cornerstone effort early on here. They won the first matchup against LTU. That was played right here at Don Riddler Fieldhouse, so they certainly carry some confidence into this one. Part of that winning effort was by way of their defense and ability to force turnovers. That'll be a key tonight in the paint. Hansen, that's waved off on a travel. There's a turnover right on cue. 3 minutes in, here's Lizzie Otten dribbling it up, the senior 5'6" from Wyoming, Michigan. Gets it over to Sydney Mueller, freshman from Grand Rapids. Driving, cutting to the rim, and she finishes with the left hand. It's Sydney Mueller averaging just under 10 points per game, and she gives Cornerstone a 4-point lead. Back the other way, Walkowski. Second leading scorer on this Lawrence Tech squad. Price hands off to Banis. Back out Hansen. That's off the iron, no good. Walkowski was in the mix, but the long arms of Redevug pulled that down. Here's Otten. Triple, and no good there from Mueller. Buckingham will cross half court. She had 27 against Cornerstone last Saturday in Grand Rapids. Here's Banis from deep. No good. LTU unable to hit from early on here. 0 for 3 now from deep for LTU. Cornerstone 3 of 8 from the field. A little over 4 minutes in. Here's Sheridan, defended by Buckingham. Sheridan with space. That's off the side of the rim. LTU no points in the last 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Walkowski, a little show and go. Banis. That's no. The shooting struggles continue, but fortuitously into the hands of Buckingham. And they'll set it back up with a fresh shot clock. Off a screen, Buckingham, that's strong. 0 for 4 from deep now. In transition, Sheridan at the rim. And it's a 10-4 Cornerstone lead. The Golden Eagles off to a nice start here. LTU 0 for 7, their last 7 attempts from the field. Looking for something here. Try to spark the offense. Under 10 on the shot clock. It's Hansen. Ends the drought. First bucket of the day for Hansen. She was named second team All-WAC this past Thursday by the league office. She's had a spectacular sophomore campaign. Once again, it's Jessie Sheridan getting the roll. She has 6 now. Sheridan was named first team All-WAC for the 3rd year in a row. There's Buckingham. Speaking of first team All-WAC, here's Walkowski in the passing lane. Forces the turnover and converts. Haley Walkowski, the brilliant defensive effort after the bucket from Buckingham. And a little spurt here from the Blue Devils now. It's a 12-10 game. 3 of their last 3 makes now for LTU after going 0 for 7. And now they'll force a turnover. Momentum shifts early on here in Don Riddler Fieldhouse. We'll see Walkowski check out there along with Hansen. We see Taryn Klein hit the floor along with Hope Dollaride. And Banis will call out the orders. looking for Klein off a screen. Back to Buckingham. She has confidence against this Cornerstone team. Carving into the lane. They'll call a foul, I believe. It came before the shot. Will they send her to the line? They will. That'll be called on Mueller, her first of the day. Buckingham, a 77% free throw shooter. LTU 3 for 3 as a team so far. Off in the second, we see Denbeston check in for Concordia. She pulls down the rebound there along with Shelby Nybor, the 6'1" freshman center for this Concordia team. There is Nybor, right on cue, but off the iron. Into the hands of Klein. Scanning the floor. This LTU crowd getting into it. Dollaride from deep, no. Dollaride hits the floor. A nice effort and a foul called. Believe this will be the second on Mueller. It'll be interesting to see what Katie Matera does if it is the second on Mueller. And looks like Mueller will come out here. We get some substitutions for Cornerstone. Lizzie Otten back in after a breather. And Bannis will dribble it up, the two-sport athlete. Getting ready for softball season as well, Bannis. A junior outfielder as well as a junior point guard. Off a screen, Buckingham. That's well long. Here's Otten. She'll go back out to Maya Udell, a capable shooter. Certainly a deep threat. Otten has the ability to handle. Gets it back for Tara Sack. Here's Otten. Free throw line J. And it's down the hatch. Now a 14-11 game. Buckingham off the glass, no. Under 2 to play here in the opening quarter of this WAC tournament semifinal between LTU and Cornerstone. In the post, it's Denbeston curling. No, that's strong. Price comes away with the board. She rebounded so well on Thursday against Siena Heights. Came away with 9 boards. Really made an imprint down low. Also had 7 blocks, a spectacular number against Siena Heights. Went along with 4 points. Here's Buckingham driving, maneuvering, looking. That's no. Klein couldn't get the roll. A third chance. Dollaride losing it. Scrum for the board. Who's coming away with this one? It's a tie-up, this time in favor of Cornerstone. Walkowski will check back in along with Danielle Hansen. Caitlin Smith now checks in as well. Approaching the final 60 seconds. Here's Maya Udell, the junior from Forest Hills Central High School. Gives it off to Taryn Sack and gets it back. Walkowski defending, finds a cutting Sack, and she's fouled on the way up. Able to draw the contact. This appears to be a foul on the freshman Taryn Klein. Cornerstone shooting 43% from the field here in this opening period. LTU at 25% from the field. It was a 10-4 Cornerstone start. LTU made a bit of a run, clawed their way back rather quickly. Now it's a 4-point game. Make it a 5-point game. Walkowski will dribble it up here. The triplet. Her parents in attendance tonight. They've loved watching her career. It's been such a fantastic one to watch. Here's the ball for Caitlin Smith. Left-handed dribble into the lane. Oh, couldn't finish, and the unlucky rolls continue for LTU. You think eventually those will start going in favor of the Blue Devils. Right now, they've had some tough, unlucky misses at the rack. It'll be Walkowski inbounding, smacks the ball and directs traffic. Klein, she's open. No good. And LTU now 0 for 7 from deep. They'll get another chance here. Ball went off a Cornerstone body. It's about a 0.1 second difference between shot and game right now. Now they'll just turn the shot clock off. So final clock here. That miss from Hope Dollaride will give Cornerstone the final possession of the quarter. LTU has now missed 11 in a row, and Cornerstone can have themselves a nice finish to the quarter with a bucket here. Onto the hands of Denbeston. No good. That's strong. Still 5 seconds. Klein leaking out. Can she get the handle? She'll drive. It's up. I believe it might have been tipped from behind. And we'll wrap up the first quarter here on the LTU Sports Network. It's a 5. We'll go to break when we'll be right back here on the LTU Sports Network. Welcoming you back to the LTU Sports Network here inside of Don Riddler Fieldhouse. Semi-final action in the WAC tournament. It's a 5-point Cornerstone lead. Opening things up here, Haley Walkowski will take the point guard duties. LTU struggled from the field in that first quarter, similar to the first quarter against Siena Heights on Thursday. And finally a 3 drops. It's Smith from deep, ending the drought from downtown and cutting the lead down to 2. And now it looks like we'll get a carry. So LTU right out of the gates here in the second quarter. Similar to what we witnessed on Thursday against Siena Heights, it was a struggle out of the gates, but they really bounced back in the second. They were able to outscore Siena Heights in the second, third, and fourth quarter. Price stripped in the paint. Here comes Lizzie Otten, the floor general from Cornerstone, shifting gears into the lane, and she's fouled. Otten at the line, an 81% free throw shooter. Siena Heights as a team shoots about 75% from the stripe. Very good number. Bit of a noteworthy stat. In last Saturday's game, these two teams obviously met in Grand Rapids. Cornerstone took 37 free throws and hit 33 of them. It was an 89% clip. We get a lane violation here, which will award Otten another attempt from the line. So I guess what you could pull out of that note is try to limit the fouls if you're LTU here, because these Golden Eagles, they can really knock it down when you give them the freebies. It's a 4-point game now, a 4-point lead in favor of the visiting Golden Eagles. Here's a cutting Walkowski. That goes. Walkowski has 8 now on 3 of 3 shooting in 9 minutes. Out up top, Jesse Sheridan had a very nice first quarter. Udell tries from deep. That rolls off the rim. Price able to put on the board. Second board of the game for Price, and LTU has a chance to tie here. It's Price. Long distance. Book it. And LTU takes the lead. With under 9 to play here in the second. They trailed 10-4 in the first, and they've climbed their way back. Yet another nice second quarter for LTU. At least it appears that way through about the first 2 minutes. Here's a cutting. We get a tie-up. That'll go in favor of LTU, and the momentum continues. Defensively, it was a very nice end to the first quarter for Cornerstone, and it hasn't really carried over here into the second quarter. Smith works it over to Buckingham. Buckingham driving, no, and the unlucky misses continue to be a trend for the Blue Devils right in the paint. Maya Udell off to Aden. Cass Vredevoogd. There's Richards. Taylor Richards, the junior from Fruitport, Michigan, averaging about 5 points per game, a 47% shooter. Her sister Allison is also on the team. They both play the forward position. Here's Hansen spinning, navigating, and she's fouled. That was called on Vredevoogd. Hansen, just a 60% free throw shooter on the year. Had 13 points on Thursday against Siena Heights. No good on the second, but she does tie up the game. Almost 3 minutes into the second quarter. We've had a fun one so far here inside of Don Riddler Fieldhouse. Winner of this one moves on to the championship in Fort Wayne, Indiana. You'll draw a matchup with Indiana Tech. After Indiana Tech clobbered Concordia earlier today. The jumper from Otten gives Cornerstone a 2-point lead. There's the board from Haley Walkowski, who rebounds so well at just 5 feet 7 inches. She definitely plays above her height. Not afraid to go down in there with the trees. A ton of heart. It's fun to watch, and it's on display every game. Buckingham she was fouled there on the drive, and it'll be a baseline inbound. We'll see Nyborg check back in for Cornerstone. Taylor Richards, who was able to knock down a jumper, will head out to the bench. Couldn't find Buckingham off a double screen, but they'll kick back out to Hansen and get things going with a fresh shot clock. Smith, she's knocked down a triple today. In the paint, it's Hansen. She's being reached at. They'll call a travel. LTU turning the ball over about 12 times per game this year, but they've kind of been able to balance that out with the amount of turnovers that they forced. They first forced 22 on Thursday against Siena Heights. If you can get anywhere near that number, you'd expect success tonight here inside of Don Riddler Fieldhouse. Transition jumper, no good. Price trying her hardest to pull away the second chance opportunity. She does. Goes back out to the perimeter. Buckingham, show and go. Yes! Buckingham has 5. Her second field goal of the day. And it's a tie game again. Sheridan hasn't been quite as successful in the second quarter. Really made an imprint on the first. Here's a cutting Vredevoogd, and she finishes. Cass Vredevoogd averaging about 10 points per game, shooting 46% from the field. Gets it to go there. Hansen fell down, still on the deck. In the corner, Walkowski decides to pull and decides to hit. Walkowski in double figures now with 10 points on 4-4 shooting. Talk about a reliable performance. 2 of 2 from the free throw line as well. Reinforcements coming in at the bench. Meanwhile, driving at Sheridan, looking to get going, and she finds her way to the rim. Sheridan has 8, 2 away from double figures herself. Buckingham looking to heat up. She's fouled on the way up. Looks like we'll have 2 free throws. So she was able to get herself going on Thursday. Kind of struggled in the first quarter, but heated up by way of the free throw line in the second quarter against Siena Heights. First free throw is good. Here come the substitutions. It's Klein, it's Dollaride, it's Banis. Checking in for your Blue Devils. Buckingham unable to tie it up. Under 5 to play here in the first half. In low, here's Nybor. Unable to finish with the lefty hook. Back the other way, it's Banis. Klein defended by Sheridan. LTU averaging about 72 points per game. They're outscoring opponents by 15 per this year. Jumper no good from Price. She's not afraid to extend out and shoot that ball. She can hit it. LTU still trails by 1 though after that possession. Nybor will try again. This time it's good from the elbow. Still a 1 possession game. Little jab step off the high glass. Soft touch there from Buckingham. Nicole Buckingham averaging about 17 points per game this year. Had 27 against Cornerstone last Saturday in Grand Rapids. In low, Vredevoogd back out. No good on the jumper that time, but fell right into the hands of Taryn Sack. Couple of Tarrans on the floor right now. Taryn Klein for your Blue Devils and Taryn Sack in black for Cornerstone. Taryn Sack from Grand Rapids, Michigan, decided to stay home and play basketball in her home city. Meanwhile, with about 11 on the shot clock, there is a miss from the corner, and Buckingham pulls it down. Banis played well on Thursday against Siena Heights. She gets it back here, looking inside. LTU a chance to take the lead. There's the strip from Sheridan. Sheridan shifting gears. And what do they call here? They'll get a foul as she was going to the rim. It'll be called on Price. It was on the floor. Substitutions coming in. Walkowski and Hansen back in. We see Julia Brown check in for Cornerstone, along with Den Beston. It'll be Sack inbounding. Julie Brown in here, the senior from Holland, Michigan. Gets it over to Sheridan. Little fall-away jumper. That's no good. Tie up for the board, and it'll stay down here. LTU trailing by 1, looking to continue a record-setting season. The 25th win on Thursday sets the all-time mark for single-season wins for this Blue Devil women's program. Certainly a monumental achievement under head coach Kylene Spiegel. They also hit a record mark for consecutive wins this year. At one point, we're on a 10-game winning streak. That winning streak was snapped by Indiana Tech, who they could potentially meet in Fort Wayne if they can pull off a win tonight. Dollaride, yes! And LTU retakes the lead. With 90 seconds to go, we'll get a timeout from Katie Madeira. Welcoming you back here into the LTU Sports Network. It's a 30-28 game after the Hope Dollaride triple. 88 seconds to play here in the first half. Cornerstone looking to answer back and now facing the full court pressure. LTU has made 4 of their last 5 from the field. Cornerstone has missed their last 4 attempts. In low, Denbeston climbing the ladder to pull that down. They go back out. Here's Julie Brown. Sheridan, the junior, carving, hop step, off the glass, spirals off, no good. 60 seconds to go. Here's Hansen pushing the pace. Collision there, no call. Shot missed, and it's Taryn Sack pulling it down. Important final 40 seconds. Who can come away with this lead? It's Denbeston down low. An easy bucket in the paint. Denbeston, her first bucket of the day. She was 0 for 2 to that point. About a 2-second difference between shot and game. LTU could wind this down if they want to. Under 9 on the shot clock, stripped. It's Sheridan, another steal, but Banis fights back for it. Looks like this went off Banis though. The effort from Sheridan forced the turnover. Otten checks back in, Brown goes out. Tie game, 6 seconds to play here in the first half. Cornerstone shooting 40% here in the first half. Otten, can she find space? Ran into traffic, no good, and we'll go to the break. It's a tie ball game. Welcoming you back here into the LTU Sports Network second half of this WAC tournament semifinal between LTU and Cornerstone underway. Tie game. It was about as even as it gets in that first half as the opening jump shot rolls off the rim. LTU shot 34% in the first half. Cornerstone was at about 39%. Both teams had 5 turnovers. The rebounding battle is something we came in with our eyes peeled for. It was about 21 rebounds each. At the other end, here's Cornerstone. Had a nice end to that second quarter. It was LTU who came out of the gates hot in that second period, and both teams missed their first jump shots. Here's Walkowski. She played well in that first half. Now 4 of 5. Price looking in low. Ball was tipped onto the hands of Hansen. Now here's Buckingham driving with the right hand. That's no good. We'll go back the other way. We'd like to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Chicago Fire Department for tuning in today. We greatly appreciate everything you do and definitely appreciate you tuning in tonight to the LTU Sports Network along with all of our viewers. We have a fun one for you, still a tie game, about a minute and a half into this third quarter. Winner goes on to the WAC Tournament Championship. Baseline drive, Otten couldn't get the roll. Buckingham pulls it down. Bannis looking ahead. Bannis off the foot of Sheridan, or did it go off of Walkowski? Turnover, and we'll go back the other way. Bit of a stagnant start to the second half here. Both teams trying to feel their way in. Every basket matters, every possession matters in a game that could determine whether your season goes on or whether it ends. Again, not only a trip to the championship, but also a trip to Sioux City, Iowa with that second WAC conference bid. Indiana Tech took the regular season title, and based off the fact that they've made it to the championship round, the winner of this game will also get a bid to the NAIA Division II tournament. Watching this one, you can kind of tell that that might be on the back of these players' minds. Bannis feeling her way inside, off the high glass. Didn't quite have it at the rim, but she forced the turnover. Otten went down. Here's Walkowski. Yes! Haley Walkowski, her 12th point of the day, and it gives the Blue Devils the lead. First bucket of this second half. Coming a little over 2 minutes in. Mueller had a nice effort in that first half. Here she is dribbling things up. Gets it over to Otten. Back to Mueller. In paint. Denied. It's Price. And it went off of Mueller, so we'll go back the other way. LTU ball. Here's Hansen, named second team All-WAC. Looking here, she spots a first team All-WAC player in Buckingham who drives, little right-handed push shot, no good. And now Sheridan. She knows what's on the line and she knows what she's capable of. Jussie Sheridan had a nice impact in that first half. 8 points in 20 minutes of playing time. Finds Otten in the paint. It's Vredevoogd. Yes, that's good. The senior from Caledonia, Michigan, and South Christian High School knots things up at 32. And we find ourselves tied once more. We wouldn't want to end the season any other way here at LTU, Don Riddler Fieldhouse, rather than having a fun game and a fun atmosphere. Always an excellent atmosphere here inside of Don Riddler Fieldhouse. Walkowski will go to the line here, where she's 2 for 2 on the day. The crowd's reaction says it all. The 84% free throw shooter Haley Walkowski knocks it down. Banis making the effort difficult in the backcourt. Buckingham joins the effort, and we get the backcourt. They took too long. Possession will go to LTU. Banis led the effort there. Or did we get a timeout call? Kylene Spiegel talking things over with the referee. It appears as though they might have gotten a time off in time, as Katie Matera really laying into her group now. Banis led a sparkling effort there in the backcourt. But Cornerstone will retain possession. Mueller looking, they have to get it into the front court, and it's Banis once again in the mix. The stingy defensive effort of CJ Banis making her imprint early on here in the second half. Just barely crossing half in time is Sheridan navigating to the rim, and once again, it's Price coming up with the rejection. 7 blocks on Thursday, and she's continuing that momentum here into Saturday night. Mueller will inbound. Free throw line, Jay. Vredevug found some space and tied it up. But for LT, you have to take away a lot of momentum out of that last sequence there. You could certainly be happy with it if you're Kylene Spiegel. Just barely didn't force the backcourt violation, and that's off the front of the rim there from Hansen. Looks like we had a foul down low. There are some Cornerstone fans in the building that traveled well tonight. Approaching the final 5 minutes, still a tie game. This is a Cornerstone team that upset Aquinas on Thursday. It's a 6-seed Cornerstone team. They took down the 3-seed Aquinas by a score of 64-57. They led the whole game. It was really a complete effort, especially on the defensive side of the basketball. They held Aquinas to just 26% shooting. We've seen shades of that at times here tonight. Sheridan pulls up. That's no good. Fouled or miss. Almost forced the ball to go out of bounds, but Price was there. Banis out ahead of the defense. Buckingham. Looks like we had a foul. Might have been before she got the shot off. That'll go on Nybor, her first. Sheridan will check out. Udell checks in along with Denbeston. Typically see them on the floor together. Price rolls off. Price now 1 of 3 from deep on the day. And here's Mueller. She has 2 points and 1 of 4 shooting. Defended by Buckingham. Looking to move into the lane. Nice touch there. That's clean. Didn't hit the rim. And Cornerstone takes the lead. Under 5 to go here in the third. Taryn Klein getting set to check in for LTU. In low. Here's Hansen. The Cyclone move. What a feel in the paint. Danielle Hansen. She can do it in deep and she can do it outside. Ties it up. Here's Udell. Tight pressure D from LTU here. Finding space. It's Mueller. No good. Hansen once again in the mix. Looking for the leaking Buckingham. Banis saw it all the way. And LTU retakes the lead. Battling in down low at the other end. It's Nybor trying to spin. Price says no. She said no again, but they call a foul. It'll be Nybor going to the line. The crowd disagrees. They thought Price should have had another block added to her stat line. Walkowski and Price check out. Nybor, a 78% free throw shooter. Definitely an asset for this Cornerstone team. Most of their bigs do very well at the line. Nybor at 6'1", very promising center for this Cornerstone team moving forward. Nicole off a screen, that's no good. Mueller will set things back up. She's been aggressive here in this second half. Both teams laying it out on the line. Screen from Denbeston, step back, that's well off. Nybor tries to save it, and she did. A nice effort there, able to throw it over the head of Buckingham. The shot clock doesn't refresh, though, with 1 on the clock. Triple put up by Udell, no. Tie up, and that'll stay down here. A nice sequence from Cornerstone. Couple of lifelines given, and this time they will get a fresh shot clock with 2:41 left in the third. LTU crowd not happy with that one. Denbeston, Dollaride did a nice job of keeping her hands up there. And here's Hansen looking to push. Crossover. Oh my! Razzle dazzle. It's Danielle Hansen. Hansen, the sophomore from East Lansing. She has 7 now. And it's a 3-point Blue Devil lead. In low, Denbeston goes upstairs to grab that. She went back up and was fouled. It's like the foul went on Klein, just her first. Reinforcements getting set to check in for Cornerstone. Tight one here between the Golden Eagles and the Blue Devils. Elimination semifinal matchup. Denbeston a chance to cut it to 1. A 61% free throw shooter. Gets it to go. One more substitution coming in here. It's Cass Vredevugd. Full court pressure. Banis is who you want to handle it in this type of a situation. Dollaride trying to work in low. They'll go away from that option. They'll give it back to the floor general. Here's Banis. That went off the oh, did it? It appeared as though it might have went off the body of Sheridan, but they'll say it didn't. And Cornerstone gets it back, and LTU will try to implement some full court pressure of their own. They've done well with it so far. They backed off a bit there, but we saw the disruption they were able to force earlier. That pass might have not been intended for Mueller, but it got to Mueller. Missed the J. Here's Banis. LTU has been successful in the transition so far, and there it is once more. CJ Banis, the two-sport athlete, gets it to go, and it gets the lead back up to 3. Still a one-possession game and a travel call. Sheridan ran out of real estate, frustrated back the other way. Walkowski checks back in. We'll see Buckingham get a breather. Couple of first-team all-WAC selections checking in for each other. And here's Banis, the floor general, calling out the signal. Approaching the final minute of the third. Dollaride maneuvering, no good. Bouncing around, it's a loose ball. Off the foot, Klein has it. Hansen says, let's settle this down. Klein agrees, and they'll hand it off to Walkowski, the senior, the 1,000-point scorer. Dollaride hit one from deep earlier. Didn't have enough space there. A foul with 11 on the shot clock. And that'll reset the shot clock. A bit of a bailout there for Cornerstone. So now you have about a 9-second difference between shot and game. 39 seconds remaining here in the quarter. Here's Dollaride moving, backing away, falling away, no good. Sheridan just barely saved it. About a 3-second difference between shot and game. Sheridan off a screen, looking for it all the way. She thought she might have had room. Crowd wanted to travel. 7 on the shot clock. In low, it's Vredevud walking the baseline. Mueller steals it. Loose ball. Sheridan throws it up. Oh my! What an end to the half for Cornerstone. The inbounding steal. Sheridan, a desperation heave. And the Golden Eagles retake the lead. It'll be a fun final quarter of this semifinal. Scintillating action here inside of Don Riddler Fieldhouse. We're back underway, fourth and final quarter of regulation. Season's on the line. LTU, Cornerstone. The steal from Mueller and then the heave from Sheridan has given Cornerstone a lead. Buckingham will have a chance to knot things up with a trip to the free throw line. The 6th seed Golden Eagles taking on the 2 seed Blue Devils. Head coach Kylene Spiegel chatting things over with Haley Walkowski and Sherilyn Bannis. The junior Buckingham knocks down the front end there. Hits a couple of big free throws. We see the full court pressure. It'll be interesting to see how well they can implement it. They'll let Mueller walk up the floor. Vredevud lets it go. Sheridan. Can she stay hot? Miscommunication. And Jussie Sheridan was wide open. The junior from Texas starting to heat up. LTU needs to find a way to clamp that down right now. Cutting Walkowski. There it is. Walkowski has 16. The senior trying to extend her career. LTU still trails by 1 though after that 3 from Sheridan. Mueller thought about it. Cross-court feed. This time it's Richards. Cornerstone won the first matchup between LTU, and they've carried that confidence. You can see it's noticeable. There's a turnover. They know that they can play with the Blue Devils, and they're really starting to pick up the confidence now. In low it goes. Mueller, she's fouled. The largest lead of the day for Cornerstone is 6. chance to extend it to 5 here with 8:23 to go. Mueller, an 83% free throw shooter. When you look at the numbers around this Cornerstone team, they're just so efficient. I mean, everyone can hit free throws. Most of the players, even you look at the players who are down low in the paint, they can step back, they can knock down jumpers. We just saw that with Richards. You see it with Vredevoogd. They're tough to defend. And then you obviously have to defend the three-point line. You have a scoring threat at about 16 points per game in Sheridan. They now hold a 5-point lead. LTU looking to settle down. Still plenty of time left here in this fourth quarter of the semifinal. Urgency, though, in both of these squads. Bennis, that's no good. Mueller pulls it down. Walkowski tried to jump the passing lane. Mueller saw her and fed it over to Sheridan. This is a Cornerstone team that just limped into the postseason. They lost their final 4 games of the regular season. That included a season finale loss to LTU last Saturday. But they have come into the WAC tournament with a different motivation. They upset Aquinas, and now they hold a 7-point lead over the Blue Devils here inside of Don Riddler Fieldhouse. Welcoming you back here on the LTU Sports Network. The Blue Devils trying to extend a record-setting 25-win season, 16-4 in the conference, 12-3 at home. Certainly hoping for a 13th home win tonight. They trail by 7. It's the largest lead of the day for Cornerstone. A miss at the rim. Hansen a second chance. Hansen a third chance, and she's fouled. Hansen 1 for 2 on the day from the stripe. Goes 1 for 2. It's a 6-point game. Sheridan got out in front of the pressure. And she knocks it down. That's the risk you take on the full court pressure. Have to really shadow Sheridan. Jussie has 14 now. Back out Walkowski. That's short. The largest lead of the day extends to 8 now. Crossover. Sheridan blocked by Price. Seven minutes to play. Smith will check in. Buckingham will check out. It'll be interesting to watch the strategy that each of these excellent coaches go with down the final stretch here. Sheridan got in front of Smith. No good on the jumper. Here comes Bannis. Pushing the pace. Scoop layup. Under duress. Six-point game now. Fans have really shown up here in Don Riddler Fieldhouse for these two postseason matchups. Both teams looking to make their way to Fort Wayne, Indiana. That time, it's Richards, the junior from Fruitport Calvary Christian High School. And there's a throwaway at the other end. LTU has to keep it together as Cornerstone continues to build up confidence. 8-point lead for the Golden Eagles. They seem to enjoy playing here in Don Riddler Fieldhouse. pulled away a victory. First time they were here, Mueller might have been open, opted to pass. In low, 10-point lead. It's up to double digits. And LTU needs a push now. We see Klein go to the scorers table, certainly a deep threat. Price has room in the paint and scores. A much-needed bucket for the Blue Devils. LTU fans looking on. You can feel the weight of every possession now. At the elbow, it was Vredevug driving, kicked out Richards. Here she is. That's off. Walkowski pulls down the board. LTU looking for a run. Fouled at the other end. Cornerstone has knocked down 6 of their last 8 shots. We'll get free throw attempts here, though, from Haley Walkowski, a very reliable free throw shooter. Chance to cut it back down to 6. Klein checks in, the three-point threat, the freshman that has had such a nice year, named to the all-WAC freshman team. We won't have free throws, rather. It'll be baseline. Scratch that. We'll have a baseline inbounds. Klein gets it on the three-point line, driving into the lane. That didn't hit rim. Walkowski's there, and she's blocked by Mueller. What a defensive effort there from Mueller. Made her way into the paint. Here's Mueller. She's been active on both sides of the basketball today. Pull up. It's Aden. Aden has 8 points now, and the lead is back up to 10. Smith, she can knock that down. She does. It's Smith, a big triple to cut it back to 7. Talking about a much-needed bucket. Buckingham getting set to check back in. Back out. In low. Richards looking for room. Klein, oh, she might have been called for a late foul there. Used the forearm to kind of push off the defender, and it was a call that came about 3 seconds late, but it was a foul, and Buckingham will come back in for Klein now. So still a 7-point game and a fresh shot clock for Cornerstone. Not enough time to start milking the clock yet for the Golden Eagles. A miss there in the paint from Mueller. Price has to handle in the backcourt. Walkowski scanning, crossover into the paint. Off the glass and in. It's Walkowski. She picks up her 18th point of the day. She's played 29 minutes. The lead is down to 5. A 5-0 run for LTU. They've knocked down 4 of their last 5 field goal attempts. And we're going to break. 3:48 remaining here in the fourth quarter of a semifinal elimination battle between the Golden Eagles and the Blue Devils. Welcoming you back here into the final 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Final game of the season here in Don Riddler Fieldhouse. 5-point game. LTU, they've scored the last 5. Otten in low. LTU has had trouble defending down low here in this fourth quarter. Cornerstone not in the bonus yet. We'll see what Cornerstone does here. Sheridan, pump fake and go. No, the long arms, though, of Richards. The rebounding battle, it's been even so far. That'll put Cornerstone up by just a board in this one, 38-37. The rebounding tallies in favor of Cornerstone. That was one thing we were looking for coming into this one. Both of these teams on the season out-rebounding their opponents by about 5 per game. We expected this one to be even. It's been quite the duel down low, and that's reflected into the scoreboard. And here's the jumper. It's Richards, no good. Bodies went tumbling down. What do we get here? Foul. Who's it on? It's on Walkowski. Five-point game still, but another fresh shot clock for Cornerstone. Two-possession game. Cornerstone has had a knack for using up clock down this final stretch. Open J, it's Richards. She got it. Richards, such a reliable jump shot. The lost start of the mid-range game, not lost in the game of Richards. Here's Buckingham driving. They need her to score right now. That's off the hands of Price. The lead is back up to 7 for Cornerstone. Golden Eagles shooting 40% on the day. Mueller, the freshman. Such composure for a freshman. Mismatch down low. Banis had to defend Vredevud, and that led to a foul. The difficulties of defending these tall players who can really move inside out has been apparent tonight. Vredevud, a 62% free throw shooter, relatively low in comparison to the rest of this team, but she knocks down the first and gets the lead back up to 8. Vredevud had 11 points in that win over Aquinas on Thursday. 1 for 2 at the line, but it's Sheridan. She wasn't boxed out. She was streaking to the lane, and that turned into a 3-point possession. And back up to a 10-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Banis, Buckingham, blocks. The denial by Mueller. Great defense off the screen. It was a tight contested jumper, and now they draw the foul. Cornerstone starting to heat up. Sheridan knocks down the first. She's about as reliable as it gets, just under 90%. We talked about the free throws earlier today. Cornerstone now 13 of 15 on the day. They hit 33 of 37 last Saturday against Lawrence Tech. They're so tough to defend. Banis almost got a chance for a bucket and a foul, but she will get a chance to go to the line for 2 more. It's the largest lead of the day. It's up to 11 now for Cornerstone. You'll start looking at the 3-point line if you're the Blue Devils now. Head coach Spiegel talks things over with Caitlin Smith and Haley Walkowski. First free throw is good. Looking to cut it down to single digits. It was a 6-0 Cornerstone run up until that point. Looking to force a turnover. Banis called for the foul. So Sheridan goes back to the line where she's 3 of 4. Fans making noise, and first one drops. Smith, a reliable 3-point shooter, Walkowski, Smith, they can both hit them. Price can hit from deep as well. We see Buckingham on the bench right now, along with Klein. Hansen knocks it down from the line. 60% on the year. 8-point game. Cornerstone, they ended the third quarter well, and they played well here in the fourth. A trap and a timeout called by Katie Matera. Head coach Katie Matera of the Cornerstone Eagles. Her team has really played well for her today. They came out hot. LTU answered back. It's been Cornerstone in this fourth quarter. Head coach Katie Matera named WAC Champions of Character Coach for the second consecutive year. It's an award given for the commitment to the 5 core character values of integrity, respect, responsibility, sportsmanship. Certainly a well-deserved accolade. Mueller will inbound. 90 seconds to play. Semi-final. Winner gets a bid to Sioux City, Iowa. They also get a trip to Fort Wayne. It's Richards again. Taylor Richards has just found herself open. The long arms, the height. She's so tough to defend. She hits jumpers from about anywhere. There's a three-pointer off the rim from Hansen. A minute to play, and it's a 10-point Cornerstone lead on the road. Lizzie Otten is fouled. Once again, it's a Cornerstone team that just limped into this postseason, and they're looking at possibly pulling off upsets over higher seeds in the quarterfinals and the semifinals. First free throw is no good. Buckingham and Klein getting set to check back in. Your three-point shooters. LTU goes small with Klein, Buckingham, Walkowski, Smith, Banis for Cornerstone. It's Mueller, it's Sheridan, it's Richards, it's Vredevoogd, it's Lizzie Otten at the free throw line. 11-point game. You need a 3 if you're the Blue Devils. Walkowski will try from 3. That's off the side of the rim. The senior couldn't hit it, and it's pulled down here by Mueller. She'll dribble, defended by Buckingham, who tried to foul, but Mueller slipped out of her grasp, and now she catches back up and fouls. Slippery. Cindy Mueller will go to the line. 83% free throw shooter. A chance to most likely put this one away. Mueller knocks down the second. Banis looking to push. Smith, you have to take it. It rolls off the rim. That goes off and out of Lizzie Otten. So with 30 seconds left, it's a 12-point Cornerstone lead. Barring something spectacular and miraculous, you would think that the Golden Eagles have made their way into Don Riddler Fieldhouse and pulled off an upset. We get a stop and play momentarily here. Referees will go to the score table. Still a double-digit lead. Sheridan inbounds. Stolen by Smith. Looking to hoist it up. Buckingham almost went off the glass. That should do it. It's Lizzie Otten. They can dribble this one out now, barring a foul. LTU, they won't foul. Cornerstone, their fans who have traveled well, rise up in the stands. The Golden Eagles have pulled off the upset. They're going to Fort Wayne, Indiana. They'll grab a bid to Sioux City, Iowa. You have to respect the effort from the Golden Eagles. On the other side, the Blue Devils finish off the season at what will be a 25-6 overall mark. It was a record-setting year for the Blue Devil program. Most wins all time in a single season. The Cornerstone players hug it out. They celebrate. They shed tears. The players will come together here for one more moment. Final score 72-62. Here on the LTU Sports Network. It was a very fun run. We appreciated you tuning in tonight. It was fun to bring it to you. I'm Jason Ross Jr. saying so long and congratulations on a spectacular season to the Blue Devil women led by head coach Kylene Spiegel, and congratulations to the Cornerstone Eagles led by Katie Matera.